What is up? Welcome to Talking Touchdowns, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. I'm your host, Astaire, joined as always by Tyler Hicks and Kurt, ready to go pick some more winners, talking the NFL this Sunday. Kurt, did you catch that wonderful game on Thursday Night Football last night? Boy, Amazon Prime's got to be happy with that investment, huh? What did you think? I thought Coastal Carolina was more fun. What did you think?
I enjoyed the game. I mean, I had me and my buddy were here and we said it's going to be 3-3 build. It was. We didn't have any Dallas Goedert captain, but we still made a profit because of that. So that was good. I was entertained. I thought Davis Mills is a respectable quarterback. If they put guys around him, I think he'll definitely be a guy that they can kind of lean on to be the starter, especially in a world where a lot of quarterbacks suck ass.
I wonder how that goes because they're going to be drafting high and there's going to be a lot of top talent available. Davis Mills, of course, a third rounder. I don't know if he was ever projected to be a starter, just kind of outperformed expectations last year. Tyler, did you watch last night? And do you think the Texans will continue with Davis Mills? Maybe grab your guy, Will Anderson, or do you think they draft a quarterback if the season continues this way?
I mean, I think it all depends. If they're one or two on the draft board, I think they have to take a QB. I think they just take one of the guys and they just run with it. I mean, I think Mills is pretty good, but again, when he was drafted, he came out of the third round. If he'd have waited one more year, he would have been the first quarterback off the board in that next draft. He had a lot higher expectations. The dude was basically he was playing with a free roll. He couldn't lose after the Watson situation. He was the guy that stepped in. As long as he wasn't throwing pick after pick, they were just going to ride him out. So I think his ride's coming to an end. They're going to draft either Stroud or Levis, and that's going to be their guy from now on.
That's a gigantic – if they do that,
I agree. I think they should leave Mills in there. But with the way this is going, I think they just grab a new QB. I won't be surprised. Even if Lovey's gone after this year, they part ways, get a new coach, give them a new quarterback, and let them get their shot.
I agree. That's definitely what they will do, but that'll just be such a big mistake. He had 14 starts at Stanford. He's not had any talent at all. And he's looked extremely respectable, in my opinion. And there's only we've not really seen. I think he's still getting better as a quarterback. And God forbid, if you put a talented wide receiver around, give him a wide receiver one for God's sake. Because Brandon Cooks is not a wide receiver one. Give that guy a wide receiver one, and I promise he'll be better than C.J. Stroud and Levis. Oh my God, he's so bad.
Levis is bad.
Wow.
Somebody's gonna mess up when they take him.
It's so hard to hit on a quarterback, and you have Davis Mills, who's been respectable with this trash that you're giving him. And him, Pierce, and a wide receiver one, man, I'm telling you, they would score points.
So, Tyler, how far do you have our guy Will Anderson falling here?
I mean, he's still going to go. He's still going to go top five.
He's a good run stopper too, right?
Yeah,
he might end up being the best player in that draft.
There's
a very good argument. He is the best player in the draft. But again, we know how these teams draft. When they're at the top of the draft board, they're going to want a quarterback. Also, if a team's sitting at 2 and they can draft them, and the team sitting at 4 wants a quarterback, and the team at 3 also probably takes a quarterback, why not just rape them and take all their stuff off the trades, take an extra first rounder from them, take an extra second, back up 2 spots, still get your guy, and get 2 other guys too. So that's what that happening.
I think that's what they should do.
I think that's what Pittsburgh's going to end up doing. I think they're going to trade back in the draft. They'll get some team desperate for a QB. They'll trade back and they'll take a lineman or something.
Yeah. They need it bad.
Isn't Pittsburgh kind of desperate for a QB? Are they really
I think so, but they're going to try. They're going to run them out there.
Unbelievable. Okay, well, these things happen. And of course, we'll be talking about all these teams as we go ahead and break down this weekend slate. It's a little smaller than usual. We have a lot of buys. I think that makes for some interesting opportunities in daily fantasy, especially with Mahomes being off the main slate. Hurts played last night. But let's start with the game that I feel like it's too easy, man. It's never this easy betting the National Football League. But the New England Patriots are minus 5.5 going against the Indianapolis Colts. They're at home. Sam Ehlinger's a rookie QB. Bill Belichick usually does really well against rookie QBs. And Sam Ehlinger's not even a talented rookie QB, right? It's not like a Trevor Lawrence or a Zach Wilson or a guy that has all the talent and just needs to develop into a quarterback. I don't think even Ehlinger has the physical skills to be a quarterback in the National Football League. By making the move, I think the Colts signaled, hey, we're in on some of those quarterbacks that you guys discussed earlier at the top of this draft board. Why are we going to push again, finish 9-8, go get crushed in the first round? We need to actually rebuild here because we're not the Raiders of the 80s and 2000s. We can't turn Jim Plunkett or Rich Gannon into an MVP here. These veterans aren't getting it done here. Tyler, when we did the playbook, we had this game past a touchdown. Is this too easy to take the Patriots? What do you think?
I think it might be. I think it might be a little trappy also because you see everyone wanted to be on the Patriots against the Bears. We thought the defense would slow down Fields. He's a little more of a mobile quarterback than Ellinger, but Ellinger will lose.
But Fields is like an elite athlete.
Yeah, but the other thing is Chicago ran the ball down New England's throat, and that was the way to beat them. Indy kind of has that same blueprint here if they want to. They have multiple running backs they could run at them. I know Jonathan Taylor hasn't been the best. He's back on the injury report. But that Dane Jackson, they can use him. He can run the ball very well here. So keep an eye on him. I don't see any props really listed for this game.
Yeah, what the hell?
Injury news. I just see on DraftKings, Mac Jones and Ellinger props. And that's pretty much it. There's nothing else out yet. So no props in this game yet. And as for the side, I'll probably stay away from it. But if you had to pin me down, I'd probably money line parlay New England with somebody. I wouldn't want to lay the points here. Could see it being a lot closer than people expect.
So you're not laying it. I want to lay it here. Tyler says be careful. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about this number, the 5 number all the time. Be careful with it. I'd rather just take the New England money line. This Colts rush defense has been so bad. Don't know the status of Harris, but even if he's healthy, man, they just seem committed to just give Stevenson the full workload. Sure, he'll be chalky. 6.2 against, I think, not dead last, but very close to dead last. The worst rushing defense, DVOA. So, yeah, I don't mind eating the Stevenson chalk at 6.2. I've not looked at anything else, so I got to see where the other pricing's at. But that's where I'd be at DFS-wise. And betting-wise, I think I'm with Tyler. I don't, man, anytime laying 5, it's a sketchy-ass number. And, like, everything screams, so Ellinger sucks. I kind of want to see what they post Ellinger's rushing prop at. I have no idea why that's not out yet. But I would have liked to kind of go over on that. So we'll see what that is when it's posted.
Tyler, are you just crushing them too hard? Why are they scared to put these props up?
Because all the injury news. I mean, Jonathan Taylor might not play in this game. I think one of the receivers is banged up. So they're not going to release props and have these numbers fly up if these guys are rolled out closer to game time. So
all right. So I took the 5.5. If Taylor's out, like, are you joining me then, or does it even matter?
I'll probably still stay away from this game.
Interesting. What do you think, Kurt?
Yeah, even if Taylor's out, I'll still stay away. Deion Jackson's been good. I mean, he's not Jonathan Taylor, but, like, it's not like Jonathan Taylor's gave them that much this year, so I don't really think that would make me feel more comfortable. I just think it's a sketchy-ass, like, that's just sketchy. I still wouldn't do it.
All right. You guys making me feel bad about getting in early on the Patriots. Let's talk about another game featuring AFC East teams, the Buffalo Bills. This was as high as 13. It's now 11 in New York, taking on the Jets. Of course, the Jets have been struggling since losing Breece Hall. 11 points in a division game usually sounds crazy, but I don't want to go against the juggernaut that is the Bills. I also don't want to lay double digits. How are you guys approaching this one? Start with you, Tyler.
No, I'm laying it here, spread. Like I said last week, we said they make that comment, running backs don't matter. These top-tier guys do, though. Breece Hall was one of those top-tier guys. This offense now relies on Zach Wilson to throw the ball, which is just not a good thing.
Yeah.
You seen it last week against New England. They were able to get them to turn over the ball a ton. They don't have a very good offense, New England, and they were able to put up a ton of points on this team. Now Buffalo's going to roll in, looking to hang 30 to 40 points on you. You're going to have to rely on your pass game. Buffalo's defense has quietly gotten very healthy outside of the guys that are out for the season. So they're coming in with a pretty healthy unit here, spread. White's back at corner. If this comes into a throwing fest for the Jets, he's going to turn over the ball multiple times. That pass rush is going to get to him. So let me get Buffalo here, minus 11.5. Was taking them at 13.5, so they discounted the number a bit. I'll take them even better at this number.
All right. Tyler likes the Bills. And, hey, you know, a guy that we're not talking about in the backfield of that Colts game when we broke it down was Nyheim Hines, because now he's on the Bills. How do you think this helps this team, Kurt? How are you approaching this?
Before Kurt goes into that, doesn't that trade just kind of seem like they weren't ready to have James Cook play a big role come playoff time? Because they're the same player. I think they wanted the veteran in that spot. They didn't trust the young kid yet. You're on
Kurt,
mute.
you're muted.
That's exactly what that screamed to me. I was like, damn, that sucks. I want like he did show some like life, but I think you're exactly right. They just don't. They definitely see potential in him. And they're going to like him moving forward, but I just don't think they trusted him yet. And they could get him on.
I still
They
think
could get Hines for like
PTSD
pennies on the
from
dollar.
the first carry fumble of the season for him.
That'll do it. That'll definitely do it.
All right, but Kurt, what do we do here from a DFS perspective? I mean, is Hines in play at all? Josh Allen worth the spend up, or is it going to hamper you too much in the other areas of your lineup? How do you approach in this game, and would you lay the 11?
So I never would lay that, but I think I'd feel more comfortable teasing it to like maybe 9.5 or just 10 on the dot. But I do agree, like Breece Hall is out. Wilson's going to have to do a lot. Corey Davis just got ruled out. So, I mean, it's not that big of news, but it's still like, my gosh, like they're just losing another guy who's like a pretty talented dude. So I don't mind teasing it down. I really don't hate doing the number 2. I think people will kind of be scarred after last night's 11.5 spread and losing that. Or wait, was it 12.5?
14.
Whatever. They're going to be
It was
scarred.
14 and it finished at 12.
Well, I think people will be scared of taking the big spreads. I actually don't mind.
Jonathan Taylor just got rolled out.
Nice. Deion Jackson season, even though New England's – I mean, Deion Jackson's going to have to catch – he's going to have to catch at least 5 balls. I wish they had the prop posted.
He's got to be a DFS play now. Like, he's going to have the backfield to himself.
But how chalky will he be?
He probably
Does
going to
that
be really
matter?
chalky.
There's no way he should be that chalky. I mean, against New England.
Bookmaker off the news, they must have expected that.
What do I got New England at? Yeah, I mean, they're up there with like Denver and they're running
5,200 too. And the other guy too that might, I mean, I wouldn't play him because he sucks. But Zach Moss did get traded to Indianapolis. He could.
There's no way he's ready.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust him. I'd go rate the Dane Jackson or Deion Jackson.
Yeah, I don't expect a lot from Moss. You know, Moss was one of those guys that I really thought was going to blow up in Buffalo and take the starting job, and he just never became that guy. Then we thought Cook, right? We're like, oh, Dalvin Cook's brother. This is going to be awesome.
Singletary's the man, baby.
Yeah, I guess so. So, Kurt, how do we approach this game? What are you thinking?
So obviously you always got to have the Bill stack. I don't mind Singletary. I'm a sucker for him. I kind of like his work. He looked so good that Green Bay game. I can't believe he didn't get in the end zone. He was gashing them. Jets are better against the run than the Packers, but still 5.7, big favorite. They traded for Hines. It's not like he's going to be the one grinding the clock out. Moss is gone, so he's not going to be running the clock out. They're not going to give it to Cook to run the clock out, so it'll be Singletary getting those like that grind out the clock type of carries. You got to feel more comfortable with 4.8 Wilson. I mean, the defense is better, but if it's going to be the blowout we think it is, 4.8 coming off a good game. No Corey Davis now. Have to imagine he'll get a shit ton of targets. Let me see what's Conklin's price at now. If you want to use him as the run back because he's been solid.
What about just using Knox on the Buffalo side? I mean, I know everyone's going to talk up Sauce Gardner being a great corner. He's going to. I don't think he's going to be able to lock down Diggs, but he's going to turn away some of those throws. And Dawson Knox might be in the middle of the field wide open. 3,500.
This is a Gabe Davis week.
Oh, definitely a Gabe Davis week.
This is a Gabe Davis week for sure. I do like Knox. I always play Knox though, so I can't.
Together, Davis and Knox.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You could even honestly run. I feel like you're limited in big field stuff, but you could even run Singletary in there. Just do a full fucking game stack on 1 p.m.
I know they're the most expensive defense, but I think this has pick 6 written all over it.
Oh, I could see that too. Conklin's 3.2. I don't mind him as the run back as well. If you need 300 and don't want to go Knox, just Gabe Davis 3 touchdown game. Bills D running back with Conklin, Singletary, and Davis and Allen, of course.
Michael Carter could catch a ton of balls out of the backfield also. If they're
he
down.
Could, and ever since the beginning of the year, I've been a sucker for him. We nailed him week 1, 5.5 though. I don't know. Like it's like him and Jackson are the same boat. Like they're 5.2. In my head, I'm thinking they're going to at least catch 5 balls, but sometimes it just doesn't work out like that, you know? So I think I wouldn't mind rotating that. As far as the 5K range, I want to live there for running backs and just, okay, Carter could catch balls or Jackson could catch balls. Don't mind throwing them in the pool.
All right. And I'm sorry, did I miss it? Did you give a side there? Are you going to lay it?
He's saying like Buffalo.
Yeah, I would tease it, but I'm okay if you want to have the balls and just do 11.5.
Okay. Don't tease that game.
Well, I mean, if I'm going to bet it, I would tease it, but I'm
What
not
are you going to
sure
tease it to, 5?
No, 10. 10 even or 9.5.
He's just going to alt spread it. He's just going to knock it down like 2 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd feel more comfortable. I could see them winning up by 10 on the dot.
I just don't. You know what? I used to tease outside of Wong, and then I learned my lesson. Like, there's no point. There's no point because Well, they moved most
On the
most to
road,
minus
though?
120. Pardon?
On the road, though, I just feel like they could let their foot off the gas and it'd just be like a 10-point. I don't know. Zach Wilson could fully
I'm
actually.
just saying, I would rather just like money line parlay at this point because
Really? And okay, in that case,
to move to 11-5, like what am I really getting? I'm moving through 10-7. I don't know.
In that case, I'm just going to be fully with Tyler and then do the 11.5 then.
Okay.
Let's
There,
go.
You have it.
I mean, it's one of them things too. Like last night, Philly kind of did still impose their will on Houston. Houston did get some nice drives and score. Buffalo's never going to stop trying to blow this team out.
That's true. They're not like the Eagles. They don't let their foot off the gas.
Yeah, they're never going to take their foot off the gas. They're never going to sit there and chew the clock.
And
Thursday night games also, there's no preparation, especially for the road team. Like, what do you think they really installed, Kurt?
Exactly.
Going
Yeah,
into that game,
I don't think
right?
the Eagles.
They did
The
like
Eagles
a
didn't come in
walkthrough.
there. I don't think the Eagles came in there thinking, okay, let's win by 30. They're just like, let's just not
win,
get anyone
stay
hurt,
healthy.
stay healthy, get the fuck out of here. I mean, you saw Gainwell was involved early. There's a reason. They just want to get out of there healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You did not see a lot of Hurts design runs too. He scrambled late. And I'm like, what are you doing?
Many Hurts runs.
He was stupid for carrying that at the end. I'm like, he's gonna get himself hurt, dude.
And isn't it a Buffalo thing spread? Like the Jets kind of like picked themselves up this year. They kind of made themselves respectable. Here comes the big brother in the division just to punch them back down to the bottom.
God, this is such a Gabe Davis week, dude.
Yeah, definitely Gabe Davis week. I think Dawson Knox getting the end zone too. I might even play the defense, even though they're most expensive, because I think Wilson turns it over a few times.
That's another thing. Like Davis Mills is much less likely to fully implode than Zach Wilson.
Yeah, Zach Wilson might just go full
3 picks. Yeah. Like he legit could. And I don't actually hate Zach Wilson as much as everyone else, so that's saying something.
Really? And why is that, Kurt? What are you seeing?
I mean,
what are you seeing with the guy that JJ called Taysom Hill 2.0?
I don't know. I mean, I just think the sample size still isn't that big, but like there is something to say about how Flacco handled his business when he was in, and Wilson came back, and it's like I think he does get locked on one receiver. He can't go through his reads that well. So, but I don't know. He's not the absolute worst. He's just
I
really
also
bad.
think that Green Bay showed a little bit of a way to beat Buffalo last week with how well they ran the ball. The team to exploit that is damn sure not the Jets. So, yeah. I think it's Buffalo or pass here in this game.
All right. Any thoughts on the total here, Tyler? It's sitting at
45
46 right now.
Probably a stay away. It's like right in that range where like I could see this game being 35-7 and it stays under. I could see Buffalo hitting the total on their own spread. So it's like I'm probably just going to stay away from it and just play this on the side and then go in through like a touchdown score and money line parlay. Maybe like a Singletary touchdown and Buffalo wins. That's plus 160.
Okay. And of course, Tyler does great using those performance doubles. Excellent in the NBA, but don't sleep on the NFL performance doubles as well. A lot of times, though, Tyler, you don't put those out till Sunday morning. So you're going to have to be a member of Run Pure Sports in order to receive those in the Discord. Tyler throws them in there, throws the screenshots in, gives us all the winners. So make sure you head on over to runpuresports.com. The Miami Dolphins are minus 4.5 on the road. If Travis Mangone was on the show, he'd probably have the Dolphins by 16 here, how much he loves them. And, of course, they did make moves. They added Jeff Wilson, but that's not the move that everyone's talking about. It's the addition of Bradley Chubb from the Denver Broncos, giving them a fearsome pass rush, and we'll see how they do this week. I've talked about why I'm not high on the Dolphins in the playoffs, and my idea is they're not going to win the division because they're in the same division with Buffalo, which means they're most likely going to be on the road. Look at the AFC. Where are they going to travel? Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, right? Baltimore. These aren't fun places to play. This is cold weather, and I wonder how Tua's arm is going to hold up in the playoffs. But I'll tell you what, Tyler, we get an opportunity to kind of test my theory this week when they head to the Windy City of Chicago to take on the Bears. And while it's not necessarily the toughest defensive unit, it's still not the worst defensive unit. Now, let's talk about the Bears defense. They got rid of their two best players, arguably, in Robert Quinn and Roquan Smith. I think they saw Eddie Jackson at safety. He probably becomes their de facto best player on defense now. I mean, there's so much to talk about on this game, Tyler, and we'll start with you. How do you think Tua does in this weather? How do you think the Bears react to losing their best players, right? I mean, everybody wrote off the Panthers when they lost McCaffrey. they haven't missed a beat. Foreman's balling, right? So sometimes I think that some of these player losses can be over. They put too much stock into them. The idea that they're still professionals and they get an opportunity now. Hey, Robert Quinn's out. Now I get more pass rushing. Hey, Roquan Smith's out. I get a chance to show that I'm a starting linebacker in the National Football League. So the Dolphins are laying 4.5, a total of 45.5. Tyler, a lot going on in this game. And a lot of questions will be answered when we're on Talking Touchdowns on Monday doing the review. Because like I said, I think this game's kind of indicative. How are you approaching this one with so many facets of the game swirling around?
I mean, definitely got to keep an eye on the weather here. I don't think it's going to be as bad as you think. Right now, it's showing 58 degrees clear, 14-mile-an-hour
But it'll
winds.
still be wind. Okay, 14.
Yeah, so it gets a little windy, but like even if it's 20-mile-an-hour wind spread, instead of throwing these balls downfield to these fast guys, they just pull them up and run slants and just let them run with the ball in their hands. Chicago's defense, they'll be able to gouge them multiple times. So I see Waddle and Hill having big games again. I could see Mostert breaking off a couple big runs also. And they're going to integrate Jeff Wilson pretty quickly because it's a Mike McDaniel offense.
Exactly.
Traded for him for a reason. He's going to step in. He's going to know exactly where to run. He's going to get used right off the bat. So wouldn't even hate betting him to score a touchdown here. But yeah, definitely on the Miami side, unless this weather changes. So weather pending, give me Miami here. I think they win this by a touchdown.
Travis is loving to hear that. Kurt, what do you think, man?
What's the line? I'm looking at DraftKings. I'm looking at
minus 4.5 for me on Bookmaker. That's the offshore.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Miami. But for DF, what's the over under?
45.5.
I mean, the way Chicago has been moving the ball better. I know Miami just got a big boost on defense, but I don't know. I kind of like the over. Another thing is Jeff Wilson. Does he immediately become the goal line back? Because he doesn't have this offense, and they love that fucker on the goal line. 4.9. They might just immediately put him on the goal, make him the goal line back. So, and we saw Edmonds used for as far as Chase Edmonds goes. We saw him lose a lot on the goal line, which is crazy. So I think Jeff Wilson, who's much better inside the 5-yard line than Edmonds, I think I'd love that call for him to score a touchdown, Miami to win.
Okay, that's an interesting way to look at it, and that way, of course, you can not have to lay those points. So Travis is going to love this show when he does watch it, and I'm sure what he's going to do is hit that thumbs up button. That's what we're asking you to do if you're watching. We're here every Friday breaking down the games. Tyler and I give you the ways that we're approaching it from a betting perspective, and Kurt is here to give you some ideas on how you're going to build on a fun slate for this Sunday. So all we ask is you give us the thumbs up, and if you're feeling really inclined, make sure you check out runpuresports.com. The Minnesota Vikings, -3 in Washington, taking on Taylor Heineke, and whatever you want to call them. I've heard the Commandos, the Commodores. It's everything but the Commanders here for this Daniel Snyder-led franchise. But, hey, they found a spark. Something about Carson Wentz, the personality is not matching the talent because you can't watch him and say that Heineke's more talented, right? I mean, Carson Wentz is faster. He's bigger arm, makes tighter throws. But for some reason, teams don't respond to him. They do respond to guys like Heineke. Commanders on a bit of a win streak here since making the change. Now they face a Vikings team that I feel is being underrated. We were on the Vikings last week against the Cardinals. You could argue that I got a lucky cover, but I could argue that about almost any NFL game. The way that these games have been ending as of late, right? Everything's close. Everything comes down to one play. Also, Vikings on the road, right? They look so much better in the dome. This is a tough one for me, Tyler. The numbers have me liking the Vikings, but I don't know if I want to take them on the road. Also, your guy Kirk Cousins, who you love to slander, he's back at home. I think this is the first time he's traveled to Washington since he left that team so many years ago. How do you approach the Commanders catching 3 at home on a total of 43.5?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not high on this Vikings team. I mean, I know you're thinking they're underrated. I think they're a bit overrated. I still don't think they're as good as their record.
How can they be overrated? I'm the only one who likes them.
I mean, it's the record. Like, I just don't think his team's good. I actually cross my fingers spread, and I hope this team somehow stumbles through the Super Bowl so I can just hammer the other side. But as for this game,
I'm not that high on them.
Yeah. But as for this game, I mean, if I'm looking for a team to pair New England with in a money line parlay, it'd probably be the Vikings. I just don't trust Washington.
Really, even outdoors, I'm just worried.
I don't trust them to continue winning games. Washington's defense isn't all that good. Like, Jefferson should have his way with this secondary. They brought in Hawkinson also. He should be able to chew off yardage. They'll have Dalvin Cook in the backfield with Madison. Like, I just think they might not win in a blowout fashion, but I think they have enough to put together a win here. So rather just take the money line, leave the 3 out of it.
All right, Kurt. Well, I want to take the Vikings. I like the Vikings. Tyler says take the Vikings. What do you think, man? Am I missing out on value if I sit this game out?
I feel like, gosh, it's a sketchy place to play in Washington. I feel like some crazy stuff goes down there, and Heineke's a scrappy little fucker. So I don't love that. I feel like the Vikings are kind of slight frauds. They've had a horse show up their ass a lot this year, so I wouldn't feel too comfortable doing the -3 on the road.
What about the Vikings is so fraudulent? They have
some of the ways they've won.
One of the best
game.
wide receivers in the league. They have
just
one
some
of the
ways
best
they've
running backs
won
in the league. Their offensive line blocks well, and the defense is average. And when you have an offense like that, I think you can get away with having an average defense for most of the regular season. Let's just talk about them for betting them for the rest of the regular season, because I'm going to completely agree with you when we're talking about some of thw playoff insecurities, right? Going against the best teams. Well, the NFC doesn't really have awesome teams there, right?
That's another thing.
I still, would like teams like the Niners and the Cowboys probably against them because of the strength of their defense.
Yeah.
But I just don't understand. So why are you guys so down on the Vikings? I mean, they brought in this coach. He seems to be doing a great job, and they keep getting wins. How is this team fraudulent?
I'm saying go on.
One game by multiple possessions. I mean, the only game they've won by at least a touchdown or more, Green Bay 23-7 week 1. They get smashed week 2. They let Detroit almost steal that game week 3. They beat them by 4. They do the same thing the next week against the Saints. Chicago came back in that game, made it respectable, 29-22. Miami game, they played that game very well. And then the Arizona game, they could barely win that one. So, I mean, I don't think they're all that good.
I would just say that, first of all, scoring's down. So there's way more one-score games. Those division games, yeah, okay, the Lions and the Bears keep it close. That's a division game. Okay, they let the Saints back in it. I mean, that is a rough one, but I don't know. That's just my thoughts on the Vikings, and I'm sure we'll continue to debate this here on Talking Touchdowns. Kurt, what is your reason to think these Vikings are fraudulent?
So I was comparing to the teams that you just said that you would take them over. Like, that's what I'm comparing them to. I mean, obviously, as far as the NFC East, as far as the NFC goes, like, I mean, the Vikings are a very solid team. The NFC is straight trash. But if I'm comparing to those other teams,
right, for the playoffs, I agree with you. But I'm just talking about betting them for the rest of this regular season. We're only halfway through.
Quick tidbit, different sport. But if you still have the Golden State lineup for tonight and it's close to -4, I would hammer the Pelicans because all the Warriors players just got rolled out. Steph, Clay, Wiggins.
They do not give one iota of care about the regular season here in Golden State. So Moses Moody season, and we'll be talking about that with AP on the NBA Rundown. That's coming up in a half hour here on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Make sure you're subscribed. You'll be notified when we go live. All right, Kurt, one more time. So for the regular season, are you with me that we can bet this team, or you just
they already fucking take the Golden State line down? Mother of God.
I'm sure they did. I mean,
this line's going to reopen at like 8.
I mean, Shams started working for FanDuel. You don't think that's a coincidence?
Really?
Like, we need to get this news before this guy puts it out on Twitter, right?
God, last year you could always get it on if you just that sucks. Okay.
I mean, I think there's a reason they hired Shams. They're like, we got,
So, yeah, I mean, like, I just think
before you go into that, Kirk, the reason they hired Shams was the whole Draymond Green scandal last year spread. They were pissed about that. They were not letting that happen.
That was hilarious.
Which one?
When them guys got that insider knowledge that he was only playing the first minute of the game, basically tip off, foul, go to the bench when Clay came back.
Oh, yeah.
That information came out. Everyone parlayed all his unders. Guys walked away with thousands of dollars off that game. They're not letting that stuff happen again. That's why he had signed the FanDuel.
All right. Let's move back to the NFL and anything more on the Vikings and the Commanders. We probably spent too much time talking about
Jefferson and Gabe Davis both going nuke this weekend.
Even outdoors. Am I overdoing this outdoor thing with Minnesota a little too much?
I mean, I that's kind of why I don't love taking them with the points, but Justin Jefferson can still nut off, and Kirk Cousins can still look mid.
Great breakdown there. That's what you get here on Talking Touchdowns, brought to you by RunFairSports.com.
The measurement board, the nut, mid.
Yep. That's it. That's the only two levels I have.
Sounds like an MJF promo. The Green Bay Packers are minus 3.5 in Detroit, taking on the Lions. The Lions catching 3.5 at home, total of 49.5. Kurt, these Lions, they just keep coming with spreads, but now the books are on to us. They're not giving us +6 at home anymore. They're not giving us +6.5. Now it's down to the typical 3.5 in the division game. 3.5 is a tricky number. You usually want to lay the 3.5. And what better game for Aaron Rodgers and these young receivers to get right against this Detroit Lions defense, which has been a cash cow in daily fantasy. I mean, boy, it's like, why are we grinding all week when we can just stack up whoever's playing the Lions? Right, Kurt?
Yeah.
Does this happen again here? Do you lay the 3.5 with the Packers? Total of 49.5. Bet Lions overs. That seems easy.
Yeah, I don't even see why you just there's no point in messing with the sports book. Just go and just rotate these guys in your DFS lineups and just print. This is a great get right spot for Rodgers. Maybe the team total over. I don't know if it's.
I like the game over too. I think that Goff is going to be able to score at home against the Packers. I think that even with Swift and Williams in there, either one of them is going to be able to run against this Packers team. Packers haven't been able to stop the run all year.
Yeah, and Green Bay, I mean, they can run the ball so effective. They know they can run the ball. They know they can run the ball for the rest of the year. I think this is a great game to just absolutely shit on this Detroit secondary and get some type of fucking chemistry with these wide receivers. They know they can run the ball the rest of the year. They know they can run the ball against Detroit if they need to. You have to get chemistry with these wide receivers for the rest of the year. And I think this is the spot they do it. Rodgers is going to, what's Rodgers? How many times is he going to throw? Bet the over on it. This is the spot where you get some chemistry with these fucking wide receivers. I'm going to absolutely rotate them all. And they're going to be, might set one Green Bay wide receiver every single lineup.
Oh,
I'm hoping Lazard fits.
I mean, hey, you can't go wrong stacking against the Lions. Talk
secondary,
Tyler. Oh, our guy, we got a winner in the chat.
We got to congratulate.
Oh, baby!
I mean, $305 into $67K.
$67K, and he's here to get some more. And we're here to give you those winners. Love to see that Run Pure logo on the top. And hey, man, I see you on Twitter, always supporting the team. We appreciate it, and couldn't be a more deserving member of Run Pure Sports to go ahead and snatch up those giblets. Tyler, talk to me about the Lions catching 3.5 at home.
All right, so what gives first? Does Green Bay finally crack 27 points and score on this defense? Or does the team in Detroit finally hold them under 27 points?
Neither.
Secondary's so bad.
This game's going over. This game's going over.
I think it's I don't think it is. I think this game's going to be a complete 180 from what everyone thinks it's going to be.
Like when we had the Seahawks Cardinals a couple weeks ago.
I think
we all stacked that game up and it went like 19-12.
I think Green Bay's going to look across and be like, we've had trouble throwing the ball. We could run the ball right down their throat.
No, why?
Rely on Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. And then
that doesn't help you for the rest of the year, though, at all. That does nothing for you.
But I don't think they care about the rest of the year.
Oh, no.
And then Detroit's going to look on the other side, and they're like, people have ran the ball on them. We could throw a little bit, but let's just rely on these running backs. Jamal Williams' revenge game. So I could see him having a solid game. Their run defense isn't good at all. He's going to get into the end zone at least once. Give me Detroit here to win this game outright spread. I think they're going to come in. They're going to surprise some people. Green Bay's offense isn't all that good. I don't trust them to score here. I trust Detroit to score. So give me Detroit here.
Wow. Can you imagine the press conference if Rodgers falls to the Lions? Oh, wow.
He's going to come out and just lay. I mean, they're still going to be able to run the ball effectively, but he'll find a way to get to 300 yards. I really hope Lazard sets so I can rotate all these wide receivers.
Yeah. Well, the panel's split on this game. Kurt says the Packers get right. Tyler,
if they are running the ball effective, like the play action is just a nut.
All right, let's talk about some play action here when the Los Angeles Chargers are laying 3 in Atlanta taking on the Falcons. This is another game that I like. The numbers are going to have this pretty close, but let's go ahead and look at the matchup. What have the Chargers been unable to do for the majority of Brandon Staley's coaching career, and that's stop the run? What has Arthur Smith told Marcus Mariota? Yeah, your name is quarterback, but you're really just the designated handoff guy. We don't trust you. Drake London, Kyle Pitts, we don't care about your fantasy teams. We're just going to pound the ball. And, hey, I think that's the right thing to do against this Chargers team. The Falcons, hey, they got some momentum. Let's be honest, they got lucky. And that's why, betting the NFL and sometimes victory lapping these wins. I mean, the crazy penalty, missed field goal, missed extra point. I mean, who can really say I capped that game correctly when you cashed a Falcons ticket? But, hey, the money still spends the same, right? When I go to the grocery store to get my steak, they don't say, hey, you didn't deserve that win. We're not going to accept this $100. It works just fine. I like the Falcons +3 at home for the reason I just mentioned. It's a simple handicap. I believe the Falcons will be able to run the ball against the Chargers. What do you think, Tyler?
Again, we're going to be different here, spread. Give me the Chargers here. We just watched the Chargers play. We just watched the Chargers play the Browns, who are a carbon copy of this team, Atlanta, who they're even better at running the ball. They couldn't beat the Chargers spread. Now you're going to trust these running backs to, they'll try to run the ball on the Chargers, but are they going to put up points? Because they're missing their best corner on the other side. Atlanta's not going to be able to stop this Charger offense at all. Eckler's going to have a solid game. Whatever receivers are out there, Herbert's going to get them into the end zone and up and down the field. So I'm not sure Atlanta's going to be able to keep up with this offense inside a dome. They're going to put up a ton of points. Unless these running backs are breaking off 50-yard runs for touchdown spread, I think the Chargers just pull away with a lead and never look back. So give me the Chargers here to cover the spread. I think they win this one.
Kurt, I like the Falcons. Tyler likes the Chargers. Break the tie.
I'm going Chargers. People will probably scar from the Chargers coming over to the East Coast, but it's now I don't know why Smith's like Patterson said he's 9%, but then like Arthur Smith said they're going to wait and see on him. I hope they rule him in on Sunday, and then everyone else is still scared to play because I'll play a 5.8 Patterson. He's been itching to get back, dude, and this is a great matchup. Either way, even if it's a big game, like I still think he's going to get carries. If they're playing from behind, he's obviously going to get catches. I know Algiers definitely asserted himself, and even Huntley's been respectable, but Patterson's still their guy, and he's been itching to get back. So I love Patterson this week. I don't know. I just think no one's going to want to do it. The depleted Chargers team, no Allen, no Williams. Eckler's banged up. Herbert's still Herbert. And Palmer's solid. Gerald Everett's been a great target this year. They have some guys, and even Michael Bandy. Michael Bandy's not terrible either. Little white fucker. He ain't bad. Yeah. So I actually, if you're scared to stack that Green Bay game, which I still think you want a piece of that, but hey, this one could snowball as well, man.
Kurt, I can tell you're feeling better because you're bringing the fire today. You're bringing the fire today. If you're loving these great breakdowns, brought to you by Kurt. He's fired up. Hit that thumbs up, and let's continue to talk some touchdowns. So Carolina Panthers are +7 going against the Cincinnati Bengals, total 42.5. Tyler, we talked about this when we were doing the playbook, because of course I do projections based on the team's results, and most of the projections are based simply on math. Every once in a while we adjust them when we feel that something's, but what we have here is a situation where I don't know if our numbers are correct, right? How do I adjust? We only have one game without Jamar Chase in the lineup, and it wasn't very good. So most of my data with the Cincinnati Bengals is incorrect here because they're missing their top playmaker. In the projections, we had the Bengals winning by a lot, but we said, hey, we need to be careful because these numbers could be, completely irrelevant to what we're going to see on Sunday. The projections say to take the Bengals. Panthers, they should have won last week. How do you think that affects them coming off that game that they essentially won twice and they still didn't get a victory? How do we approach this game?
Very simple, spread. You tease them down to 1.5. They're going to win this game. It's just a question of by how many. I don't trust P.J. Walker and them to put it together again. I mean, you see what it took last week to get them into overtime against a bad Atlanta team. As long as Cincinnati doesn't try and run the ball down their throat, which for some reason they've tried that a lot this year, they should be able to throw it on them, even with the guys they have, Higgins, Boyd, Mike Thomas, Hurst. They'll be able to move the ball. I think they'll win the game by about 4 or 5 points. So not going to lay the 7.5, just tease them down to 1.5, and that's good enough for me.
All right. He didn't take a side there, Kurt. You want to take a side here? Do you want to just play a -110 against the spread, Kurt? What do we do?
I'll take the points and take Cincy. It's a get right spot. They just got embarrassed.
Wait. Take the points and take Carolina, you mean?
No, I'm sorry.
Lay the points.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know these gambling terms. I've been hot lately, but damn, I don't know all the terminology. So
How do you not know the terms?
Huh?
Cash, you're buying brand new pullovers that the chat absolutely loves, and you don't know the
Christmas
terms.
time, baby.
Absolutely wonderful. Absolutely
I'm already
wonderful.
playing Christmas
We've
music.
been grinding this for years. Kurt shows up, doesn't even know the two terms, and just keeps getting giblets. All right, but you're going to lay it with the Bengals. Let us know why.
They just seem to always come out like with a fucking fire up their ass. When they had these letdown games, we saw it with how they came out against New York. They came out fired up. I was very heavy on the Browns in that game. They're on the road. It's Halloween. It's the best one of the best pass rushers versus worst offensive line. And it's the first game without Chase. I'm sorry, but if you bet the Bengals, just stop. Take a week off. Get your mind right because it's stupid. The first game without Chase, a guy who changed his entire game plan. I was very heavy on the Browns. That was a great night for my sportsbook account. Anyways, back to that. They kind of had a week to do it. Carolina's secondary, I don't know what happened to it, but it's been terrible lately. These Falcons guys were just winning wide open. It was the first 3 weeks, this Carolina secondary impressed me. Apparently it's all gone. Brian Burns is still pass rush. I thought he would get traded at the deadline. That would have made me love this Bengals stack even more.
I heard they turned down 2 first-round picks from the Rams for him.
That's just insane to me.
That's how much they like him.
This would have been just absolute another nut spot for Joey B if he was out. Because, I mean, it doesn't like an elite pass rusher versus that bad of an offensive line does make a difference. You don't think it does, but it does. Like, look at the Dolphins. Their Super Bowl odds skyrocketed because they got a pass rusher. So it does make a difference. But I like Mixon. This Carolina run defense is not good either. 6.5 for Mixon seems good, even though he's been dusty as hell this year. He falls in the end zone. Higgins 7.3. People will probably be uncomfortable, but if I'm sacking up, don't mind it. I've never been a fan of Boyd, but I'll play him. And then I honestly don't think PJ Walker's that bad, but Cincinnati, man, they just come out fired up after these letdowns.
Of all these cheap, like I would just call them mediocre quarterbacks that have been on the board the last couple of weeks, I think he is the best one.
Yeah. He's always shown it. Like my buddy's a Colts fan. He said he's always like, he's surprised they let him go because he was always respectable, especially as a backup.
All right. Tyler, let's go ahead and talk about my favorite team, the Las Vegas Raiders. They get shut out. They stay in Clearwater, Florida. They're staying there for the week.
Hometown, baby.
Yeah, with some of
St. Pete, Clearwater, same thing.
Yeah, hanging out with some of your old buddies, trying to get their minds right, trying to prevent an embarrassing situation. McDaniels, could he be one and done? If he doesn't win this game, it's looking more and more likely. Doug Peterson cannot figure out how to win one-score games. They're 2-6, all 6 losses by less than 7 points. So, Tyler, we talked about this on Monday. Because of the fact that they won their 2 games by a lot and they lose by a little, the numbers like the Jaguars, but you watch this team, and it's really not the same as what the numbers are telling you. They're going to be an analytics darling team, but, boy, Trevor Lawrence has been a disappointment. He looked great after 3 games under Peterson, definitely regressing back to the player we've seen last year. What do we do? What do we do here? What do we do with the Raiders?
I think what you honestly do with this game from a betting perspective spread, yeah, when you go on DraftKings, you can click on the little tab right above the game and you close it out. So you don't even see it. I think you don't even bet this game. You just leave it alone. Like it's 1.5. Like when you look at it on paper too, it's like the Raiders should be able to put up points here, win this game. You'll be watching the game on Sunday if you make that bet going, why is Devontae Adams not getting targeted more? How is Josh Jacobs not running through this defense? So I'm just going to stay away from this game and save myself the headache spread.
All right. Once again, Tyler doesn't want to pick against the spread, and that's fine here because we don't want to mislead you or give you plays that we don't really feel sharp about. Swoop says Rams have no first rounders, do they?
Yeah, our guy JC Largo hit it right on the head. They don't have one until 2050.
But I think they offered Russell Westbrook to end the Lakers 27 and 29 pick because everybody's got that offer.
Speaking on that though, they said they were the team that ran up the price on CMC for San Francisco.
True.
What were they offering that caused San Francisco to have to pay all them draft picks? They have no draft picks.
They had the second and thirds.
Were they just offering them for the next 5 years?
I don't know. I don't know that much about the Rams draft, but yeah. Maybe they just did that on purpose, knowing that they wouldn't get there.
That's my guess, yeah.
Kurt, Tyler, I was hoping for some clarity here because you know how it gets with your favorite team, right? You get a little bit emotional. You don't know what to do. I thought they would look good against the Saints. I thought they were turning things around. I thought they were building up the momentum when they ran the ball like monsters against the Texans. Now their second game in a row on the road. I don't know what to do with this team. I don't know what to do with either team. I actually like the Jaguars too. I root for them when they're not playing the Raiders. What do we do with two teams that I am high on that have absolutely disappointed this season?
Yeah, I'm not going to give you much clarity because I'm not going to be the one, the idiot that bets against the Raiders, and then all of a sudden their offense comes out. And
Doesn't
like
it seem like totally Raiders for them to just go?
I promise you, this Raiders offense is going to have 1 week. I don't care how incompetent they've looked. They're going to come out one of these weeks and just hang like 40 or something.
Yeah,
and I'm not going to be the idiot.
Like the best offense in the league 1 week.
Exactly. And they're not going to be consistent at all, but I'm not going to be the idiot who bets against them. I will give you some DFS advice, though. Jacobs, another good matchup. I didn't play him last week, too expensive. 7.3, a little more comfortable in it.
You got so lucky because he was the reason I didn't cash, and I had great cores. I was using Title's cores again. We stacked the Miami game, and I still couldn't cash because Jacobs snowflaked for me. So great call.
Full faded Jacobs. That's a tough team. Damn. You got to play your boy, though. I mean, you're a Raiders fan. But Christian Kirk, okay? This is the best matchup he's had since he dudded against his nut matchup against Houston. 5.5 at home. Raiders are better stopping the run. So put the Travis Etienne, put him on hold a little bit. I think he'll still have a decent game, but I much rather prefer $800 savings and play the wide receiver Christian Kirk. Still getting decent targets. He's had a bad string of matchups lately. This is one of his better matchups since week 1 or 2 when he was just absolutely going crazy. I think he goes off this week. The targets have still been there. It's not that. The matchups have been tougher, and I don't know. I can't tell you exactly what happened in the Houston game. That's just maybe they just didn't really need to do it. That they probably weren't needing to pass that much. But 5.5, love Kirk. I talked about how I know the Raiders are going to explode one day, but I'm sorry, I can't play Carr and Adam stacks. So just give me Christian Kirk and Jacobs' interest for DFS.
I mean, Tyler, normally we would use this as a teaser spot, right? I talked about only playing longs. Jaguars are plus 1.5. You give them 6, that moves them through 7.5. But we talked about the potential for the blowout here. Our guy Bobby Hughes in the chat thinks the Raiders are going to blow them out.
Oh yeah, Bobby's a big Raiders fan.
My problem too, spread is like I know other guys have success doing it. Whenever I tease an underdog up, they just get the doors blown off them every time I do it. So
I literally did that with the Browns.
Yeah, I can't tease teams up. It's only down to like 1 for me.
All right, let's talk about the Seahawks.
Hey, you know what? One more thing. Instead of doing like the minus 13.5, can you tease up the team totals? Because that's what I would do. I would do this every week with the Raiders. Tease that team total up a shit ton, and like we just talked about, they're going to have a nut game. You're going to get your money back.
So here's we gave you some more terminology. That's alt spreading. So teasing is only 6 points when you're just paying. And hey, I don't do it on the sheet because a lot of people do the books. But a lot of times when I'm giving out these plays in the NBA, I sell a point, And so rather than do -3, -110, you do -4 at plus 100. In the NBA, it doesn't matter that much. So yeah, what we'll call that is doing the alternative.
How do you want that team total to go?
Do what? What is it set at? What's the line?
You have the same game parlay it on DraftKings. I mean, you
can
go
30. What's 30?
Yeah, you can go 30s plus 250 or 29.5 is 2-1. 30.5 is plus 250.
So I don't mind 30.5 and just keep doing that every week.
Okay. There we go.
The thing is though you have to pair it with something. So would you just pair that with them winning? If their offense finally comes to life, they probably win the game.
Probably Carr's his passing prop has to be low. Take the over on that.
Okay. Yeah. So if you did, let's just say the one that's closest to even is 249.5. It's minus 115.
He's gonna get 250.
Yeah, you did the over 29.5 and the over 250. It gives you plus 350.
Yeah, I love that. And then, I mean, it's going to happen one of these next 3 weeks. And if you just keep losing, you'll hit one of these weeks and you'll be up.
There we go. Talk about the Seattle Seahawks headed to Arizona taking on the Cardinals. Kurt, I talked about the disaster I had a couple weeks ago when every single lineup I stacked the Seahawks and the Arizona seemed like just the ultimate matchup there. And I think the game finished 19-12. None of the players got there for me. Now they run it back, but they're not in Seattle this time. They're in Arizona. But, hey, that Seahawks defense, we were thinking of it like the Lions defense. They've gotten better in the last couple weeks, and the Cardinals look better with DeAndre Hopkins out there. Oh, you're shaking your head. What's going on?
So they're not the Detroit. So they just have a scheme, and it's that zone they play off, but they leave the middle of they do not let you get the sidelines. They will not let you get beat deep, and they will not get, but they will give up the middle of them. Oh my God. Daniel Jones last week had Tanner Hudson over the middle and other people, but most of Tanner Hudson over the middle because Seattle leaves that short middle wide open all day. You can dink and dunk the fuck out of Seattle. Zach Ertz is the lock of all locks. They've already played this. They've played this team before. They scored 9 points. Ertz put up like 15 fantasy points, and they always scored 9 points. I don't know if he scored or not. I don't think he scored. Had 7 for 77. They were terrible. If this team put up 3 touchdowns, Ertz is going for 25 easily. Bet his props. This team does not care what the fuck tight ends do against them. 5.1. Book it. That's what I like.
I love that you're coming with a strong take today, Kurt. I'm sure
this is my favorite NFL. This is my favorite NFL week I've seen since like week 1. I'm loving the board.
Kurt's bringing the fire takes. All we ask for is the thumbs up. Did you pick a side, though, between the Seahawks and the Cardinals?
Didn't even look at the spread yet. What is it?
+2 for the Seahawks.
+2. No. You know what? Give me the little midget fucker. 3. Give me all. Yeah, we can win by 3 at home. Hopkins is back. That makes a big difference. He's so good, dude.
He's so good. He's as good as to me. He was always as good as Devontae Adams. It was always crazy to me that they had Adams ahead of Hopkins.
His catch radius is nuts, and you can just put it in. Just put it anywhere, and like that's so helpful for Kyler because that little short fuck can't see anything. He was like it hops down there somewhere.
Yeah, and he's a badass too. He just brings the swag to that offense.
They took that away from Joe Burrow, Kurt. He can't just be like, "Oh, Jamar Chase is down there somewhere."
Yeah, exactly. I love that actually. I'm definitely going to bet that Ertz props over and Cardinals to win by 3. I love that.
Yeah, I mean his over 4.5 receptions is +100. Definitely like that.
He had 7 in a game where they didn't move the ball for shit.
Yep.
Not to mention Tanner Hudson had like 4 catches and Daniel Jones missed him like 8 times.
I also think this is the game everyone thought we were getting a couple weeks ago.
Definitely.
I think the offense has come to play here.
Yeah,
so
it's a lot easier to play.
I'll be having some DFS in this spread. You'll probably have some PTSD or
I don't care. I'll go back to it. It's my favorite is when a game duds and you just go right back to it, right? Or a guy duds, and we do this in the NBA more often because they play each other's more often. But we love a matchup and it does, and then everyone gets off it and you can get in at lower ownership. So I'm fine with that. So are you going to take the Cardinals then too, Tyler?
Yeah,
I like the over more than a side here.
Yeah, definitely like the over more than a side here, but I am going to be on the Cardinals here at home. I think they do get right here. They pick up the win. They win it by at least a field goal. So definitely like the Cardinals here.
That's too bad. I'm rooting for Pete Carroll in honor of the old guys pod. Tyler, I haven't listened to this week.
I also have a future bet that kind of plays into this. I had Seattle under 2.5 division wins. They can't win this game. They already have one division win.
That's probably dead, bro. The Los Angeles Rams are +3 heading to Tampa to take on the Buccaneers. 42.5 is the total, +136 if you like the Rams on the money line. Tyler, this is the battle of the teams, the NFC disappointments, right? We thought the Buccaneers going to be badass. Brady's back for another year. The Rams coming off the Super Bowl. Both teams have been absolutely terrible, and both teams, to me, have been bad for the same reason, the offensive line. The Buccaneers lost the injuries. The Rams lost their best player. He's sitting on that Amazon Prime booth watching those, to me, bad games on Thursday Night Football. But regardless, neither team can protect their guy, and neither team has a mobile quarterback. Neither team can run the ball. It's been rough for both of these teams. One of them is going to get right on Sunday. Hey, do you know the Rams are 8-2 in their last 10 against the Buccaneers? What are your thoughts, Tyler?
I'm going to buck that trend and give me Tampa Bay here, spread. I can't back a Rams team who was Cooper Kupp or die, and Cooper Kupp's ankle gave out last week. I know it says he's practicing.
I wonder why, because they only give him 5,000 targets.
I know they say he's practicing. So, but yeah, you're going to try and target the hell out of this guy again here. He could easily get hurt, and Tampa Bay just has a ton more weapons they can go to. So give me Tampa Bay here to win this game. I think they win it by right around a touchdown. I trust, even without Shaquille Barrett, I trust these guys to get to Matthew Stafford, cause him some problems, sack him a few times. They have no run game whatsoever. Tampa could at least lean on that if Brady's getting murdered. So give me Tampa here, spread. I think they win this game at home.
Tyler likes your favorite team. Kurt, do you agree?
I don't know what to think of this game. As soon as I saw it on the schedule, I was like, how these two teams are both playing, I don't know. We lost Shaq Barrett. That's going to be a huge, huge blow. I mean, that was kind of like a chance where we can attack the hell out of this Rams team.
But if there was ever a spot where like you didn't need them, isn't it right here?
I 100% agree. I think this is a spot where it's like Brady's like, look, if we lose this game, I mean, the season's – I know how bad the NFC is, but the season's toast, bro. I feel like everyone loses hope. So I think this is a good spot. So I will actually back my Bucks, but I'm not too confident in it. But I will be betting it because – I don't know. I feel like this is you don't really want to bet against Brady in a spot where he needs to do or die.
And we're going to run late. So if you guys are waiting for the NBA rundown, I'm going to send AP a message and let them know that we've gone a little late again. But Kurt, I have to talk to you about this. Something you just said, and I want to get your input. I never played organized football. And I always hear on these podcasts when they talk about, now the season's over, da-da-da-da-da. And I never buy into it. And my idea is that you're going to compete no matter what. For you to make it at the level of college athletics you did, it's not because you were passive, right? So even if they lose this week, I'm not writing it off. It always, they say, their season's over. They're not going to try. So, I don't buy into it. What do you think of that?
Here's what it is. It's not that people are going to like trying. You lose your camaraderie. So, guys are all of a sudden thinking, we're doing terrible. I got to start putting film for myself. Like these borderline guys that in a contract year, they start putting film on someone else. So they're not worried about maybe protecting their gap. They're trying to make a play because they're trying to put themselves on, they want good film for themselves. So that's what it is. It's not the fact that the guys aren't trying anymore. It's the fact that guys get a little bit more selfish in what they're doing. And there's 11 guys in the field. So, that's kind of what happens.
All right. I think that's a great clarification there. Anything more on this game, Tyler? Do you have any props?
No, nothing else on this game. Maybe closer to game time.
All right. And
just a perfect spot to plug the playbook spread. That's where they'll find all the props, all the long shots. So we'll have them posted before Sunday so they can scroll through that whole page and check everything out.
And that's right. If you're a member of Run Pure Sports and you haven't checked out our NFL playbook, I am hurt. I'm really hurt because Tyler and I put a lot of work in every week. We give you projections. We give you the best player props. And, of course, we give you game notes. And we're really proud of our results so far. So if you're a member, head on over to the bet side. And we have an NBA playbook and an NFL playbook. And then, of course, if you're not a member, head on over to runpuresports.com. Check out all the best in sports, gambling, and daily fantasy information. Let's talk Sunday Night Football. The Titans, the Chiefs. Titans are catching 13. I don't even care who's injured. I don't even care who's playing quarterback. Give me Mike Vrabel and the points. Am I crazy, Tyler?
I think so. They were barely able to score points last week, and all they could do was run the ball. Their secondary absolutely stinks. Now they're going to play Mahomes off a bye. We know what Andy Reid does off a bye spread. I think they roll in here.
But isn't that baked into the line? 13 points for a 5-2 team that's done well against Kansas City in their last,
I get it. They've done very well against them. This isn't the same Tennessee team, especially if Tannehill's out. They're not going to be able to throw the ball. Do you trust Derrick Henry to run for 25 points here? 25 points. You think he could run for 3 touchdowns? I know he's done it before, but I'm not going to sit here and pencil him in for it against a Chiefs team. Who knows? That's all they have. They're going to stack the box, stop him from running it. I think this game could look a lot like Tennessee's game versus Buffalo earlier in the season. Tennessee's got a nice record. They're not on the top tier of these other teams in the AFC. Buffalo kind of put them in their place earlier in the season. I think Kansas City does it again here.
Kurt, we're split again. Tyler and I, right? We're like, two parents fighting over the kids in a divorce. We always get along, but we can't come to an agreement here. Break the tie. What do you think?
Man, in Arrowhead makes it tough. I would really love this game if they did hung like a 10-point spread in Nashville. But the Titans' offense is just very, 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 very bad. Do we have any news on Tannehill yet?
He didn't practice yesterday.
Yeah.
Now look,
we don't have it.
I watched a lot.
But this line to me says that he's not playing. 13.
Yes, well, I watched a lot of Malik in the preseason, and he's extremely raw. He might have it one day, but not only – he can evade rushers for a little bit, but he doesn't get downfield and get yards running the ball like Josh Allen does or something. He just evades rushers, but then he eventually gets sacked because he never throws the ball away. I don't think they'll be able to score. They can load the box, and Malik Willis will not beat them with the pass. And the secondary for the Titans is always terrible. So I think I actually might – this will be my first primetime betting a spread like this. I will actually hang the 12. I think Chiefs win by 14. I like Vrabel, and I respect the hell out of him, but the quarterback can't do shit. Their secondary is terrible. Chiefs minus 12.
As of 3 minutes ago, spread from Tennessee's practice. Derrick Henry back on the field ahead of Sunday's game against the Chiefs. Among those that didn't work together with the team stretches, Ryan Tannehill, Jeffrey Simmons, Amani Hooker, Bud Dupree, and some guy named Ben Jones.
So
they could be.
Ben Jones is the center. He's a stud. He's like a Pro Bowl
they
center.
Could be down a ton of key guys here, spread to where
this
could be like 17 by the time game time rolls around.
I could see that. And another thing is they're stacking the box when Tannehill's at quarterback, and then there's what the Chiefs will do stacking the box with Malik Willis at quarterback. Two completely different stacks.
You legit go in the Madden playbook, go to field goal block, and that's what you run all.
It's that bad. He's that bad. I mean, you'll see it. I hope the kid does good because I want him to do well, but you'll see it on Sunday night. He'll have a wide open receiver. There'll be many times where he does because, like I said, they're going to stack the box, and he'll miss him. Like he'll hop it or he'll overthrow him. He's just so raw right now, man, and it's rough.
And even if Tannehill does give it a go, it's a bum ankle. So if they're blitzing him, he can't move. It's not good. I think the Chiefs smash here, spread.
Yep.
All right. Well, I'm going to take a stand here, and then of course, you guys will get the opportunity, maybe to victory lap. But 13 points in a primetime game. These primetime games have been going under. I'm going to go ahead and I did the wagering world with my guy 5-star in Vegas, sharp NFL bettor as well. He was on the Chiefs too. So I definitely feel like I'm taking a stand. And I may be wrong, but this is why we do it here on Talking Touchdowns. So there you have it. We go ahead. I got
one more thing. So I took the Texans with the points yesterday, and my point was no matter how much Lovey is down, he's just going to pound the ball. Like he doesn't care. So that's automatically going to make it harder for the Eagles to completely smash in a short week. This is another case where it's like, okay, they're going to try to run the ball, but eventually they're going to have to go full pass. And Malik Willis won't be able to complete passes. And what happens when you can't complete a pass? The clock stops, giving the Chiefs more time to score more points. It's small things like that.
Bad?
He's just so raw. He couldn't complete a fucking pass in the preseason, it felt like.
It also felt like Vrabel pulled him and ran the ball every time he made a mistake.
Exactly, but they're going to get to a second half, and they're just going to be like, "Look, we got to just." I mean, we got to. He won't.
Tannehill is questionable. It came across underdog, so he's pretty much still in the same spot. But the question,
I think Tyler's right. This could be something that gets to 15 or so by Sunday night.
If he's rolled out spread, they're not scoring.
Well, I don't know.
They're not scoring more than 14 points.
Okay.
Well, I mean, what's the most it can move? You all know this more than me.
I don't think it'll move past 14 myself. It would have to take so much money to get past 14.
So what can you go up a point?
I think
because I think the line it already moved off the Tannehill news. I think the 13 is with Tannehill out because it was 11 earlier in the week.
So when he officially gets rolled out, then it'll go up to 13.
Well, to me, it's 13 on Bookmaker right now.
Oh,
I'm seeing 12.
I'm seeing 12. Go ahead, hammer that, y'all.
All right, let me check. Let me reset. Let me refresh this.
Our guy Jeffrey in the chat says whenever the spread has been big like this against Vrabel, he lost very badly.
Yeah, all right.
I see that. And Ben Jones is he's their Pro Bowl center, so him being out's another massive thing. I don't know how long he's been out.
Bye has been a tank.
I know, but it's so baked into the line. A 5-2 team catching 13 points. This was the number 1 seed in the AFC last year.
Baked schmaked.
With Tannehill though, and their offensive line and Tannehill last year were just a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
It makes a big difference.
They also had a guy named AJ Brown on that offense last year too.
That too, man. This makes Malik Willis' job even fucking harder, dude.
You guys are making great points, but I think, Team Malik here, right? Call me Fife Dog.
I would absolutely love that kid to come out and look good, man. I would love it. I would
too. I think it's going to be awesome. And what if they just run him as a running back, like Wildcat?
That's the thing. He can't He just doesn't
He's
have
super fast.
He is super fast, but he just doesn't do anything with it. I feel like maybe he just has no vision. I mean, I know you don't have the great vision to be a quarterback runner, but he couldn't go anywhere in the preseason. It's like he would almost put himself in harm's way and just you had a lane right here and I don't know.
Well, let's see what Vrabel's done. One of the reasons why I love Mike Vrabel is I think he's one of the best at player development.
Agreed.
And so when you're talking about some of those injuries, I think that his second stringers and third stringers are just better because of the way that he works with them. And some of these guys, right? I always tell Tidal and Travis, you guys hate them because all you care about is play calling and daily fantasy points, but you're not looking at the way that they take these young players and they get them NFL ready. And I think that's something that Vrabel does.
I respect the hell out of Vrabel, but Tyler just mentioned it. When he's a big spread like this, I've been fucked because I'm thinking I respect Vrabel too much.
Yeah.
I'll take the points or whatever the terminology is. Yeah, take the points.
Take the points.
I tried to do the same thing earlier in the season spread. I took them against Buffalo, and Buffalo came out and punched them right in the mouth. I'm not doing it again.
And it happened to me last year too. And
but
now they have
Buffalo a little better than Kansas City.
Now Malik's quarterback.
What better secondary to finally bring out your new piece, Kadarius Toney, and say just run rampant all over this defense? Let's show them what we actually got here.
Yeah, I mean, are you going to be interested in him on the showdown slate, Kurt? Kadarius
Toney? Oh
Toney?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I mean, the dude looked completely fine in practice. There was never any injury, so expect him to be out there on Sunday night.
That's wild that a guy like Dable couldn't have worked him in. So
I think he was already checked out of the New York organization before even Dable got there.
I want to play in New York. That's weird, but what do I know? I'm old. He's a young guy. All right, guys. Here's the deal. It's the old the meme, right? The trade proposal. You give us a thumbs up. We give you the best bets. We'll start with you, Kurt. What's your best bet for this Sunday?
Oh shit, I have so many. I felt like I feel like a lot of the props weren't posted, but Zach Ertz is posted, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, give me the over on every single Zach Ertz prop. Everything.
Okay. Ertz over, Ertz to
and
the moon,
anytime
Ertz in DFS, put him in your core. Tyler, what do you got for us?
I'm going to give me the Chargers spread. I just don't trust that Falcons run game.
Me,
I don't. Yes, they run the ball a lot, but I just don't see them guys putting up enough points to keep the Chargers down. So give me the Chargers -3.
All right. And I'm going to go ahead and I would put it on, but I don't want to get us kicked off YouTube. But I'm going to be bumping me against the world when we get off this show. And I'm taking the Tennessee Titans +13.
No, don't.
Pulling out that old Tupac album that came out before both of you were born.
Kurt,
I'm loving it.
Bookmark this because when we're
What's my record versus you in Chiefs games? It's got to be like 3-0.
Kurt, you got to bookmark this because we're picking him up out of the dirt next week because he gets blown out by 35.
What's funny is I bet I was against the Chiefs. Now I've been with the Chiefs twice. So this will be the first time that you've been on the Chiefs, though. So this will be
against the Chiefs.
No, he's going against the Chiefs again.
Jesus Christ!
I'm thinking the Titans.
No, maybe you were on the Chiefs because I was on the Bills and then the Bills won.
Yeah, I was on the Chiefs.
The first time that you're against them.
Yeah.
That seems right. Yeah.
All
so
right,
this would be a good right spot.
Hey, just like Tyler picked Tampa Bay to go against the Trends, right? Streaks have to.
Wait, we got a victory lap. Spread absolutely had the nut yesterday. Loving the Magic.
Yeah.
9.5. He loved them to win. He definitely loved the spread. I mean, so just congratulations to my guys.
Thank you. Yeah, because from what it sounds like it, I'm not going to be able to get victory lap on Monday with this game. It looks like I'm against the whole chat as well. So, hey, that's fine. Great album, came out in 92. All you young pups, check it out. Me Against the World, Tupac Shakur, and myself taking at the Tennessee Titans. If he's still alive, I'll bet you he's betting the Titans in Cuba now. Kurt, you had a great show today, man. I can tell you're feeling better. I can tell that workbench time has definitely rejuvenated you.
Yes.
The skin's looking fresh. The tan's looking good. We expect some words of wisdom for you before we sign off. And hey, guys, stay tuned because I'm going to end this broadcast, send a link to AP, and then we're going live with the NBA rundown. So make sure you're subscribed to the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Kurt, give them words of wisdom on how to smash this Sunday slate.
So first of all, I was sick for like a week and a half, so I just went to the gym every day and just tried to sweat it out. It didn't work, but eventually it worked. So there's some words of wisdom. Just keep on going to the gym and sweating it out, even though you feel like shit and probably shouldn't and just need rest. Don't listen to the people. Just go sweat it out. This Sunday, I love the board. I don't want to say go in on everything I said, but you should probably go all in on everything I said this week because it's the absolute nut board. I've never liked the slate this much. I promise you we'll at least go over 50%. We're going to have a winning record on everything I said. So just tell me and let's get the shipper. We were all kind of in line today for the most part, I feel like.
Yeah.
So
we only a couple different ones, so it's going to be a lot of fun. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. We will be back in less than 5 minutes for the NBA Rundown on the Run Pure Sports YouTube channel. Run Pure.